ladies and gentlemen, Grant has told me that I'm up. And since I think today's the opening first pitch, right? Yeah, so that's an appropriate metaphor to begin our quick conversation about the 50th anniversary of FIU. So I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the commissioner, thank mayors, city council, men and women. Thank you for your commitment to service and for your leadership. And I want to thank as well, I have a member of our foundation here and a member of our President's Council, Manny Foundation, Ron. So thank you so much for your passion and your commitment to FIU and to our community. In many ways, FIU has grown up with your businesses and with your communities. And I want to talk a little bit about that. But I want to start off with just a touch of good news. And so last Thursday, I got these rumors, and it became official when somebody put it on Facebook, of course, that Forbes magazine has just named FIU as one of the best employers to work for in the United States. We were ranked number 64 out of 500, and only 16 other companies, enterprises in the state of Florida were ranked. One of 9 universities in that mix. And obviously, I'm really, really happy about that. Although I did say to our Vice President for Human Resources, next year we'll be top 50, right? And he just, so no good deed goes unpunished. But we're very, very proud of that. But I think it's emblematic. That recognition of the nature of who we are and what we do. So I'd like to spend a few moments on that if I could. And I do want to thank Michael and Grant and community newspaper enterprise and their commitment. I'm very proud of their connection to FIU. I couldn't be prouder. In fact, you know that, Michael. And so thank you so much for being here for us. So isn't it interesting that we don't have a public university in South Florida, a university. We have a great private university in the U. We have a great community college or state college, but there's no public university in this community until, truthfully, we didn't open until 1972. But there's a fascinating story behind the story. And that is that this university was first proposed for this community in the early 40s by Senator Ernest Graham, Bob Graham's father. But it didn't happen. Nothing happened. And then finally a county commissioner who was a 2-term county commissioner named Robert Haverfield was elected as a first-time state senator in 1964, in the fall of 64. And he goes to Tallahassee. And he builds a coalition within the Senate that was unstoppable, and FIU was finally created by state statute in June of 1965. It was Robert Haverfield, who then subsequently became a judge in our community, a very recognized and respected judge. And that story, we need to spend a lot more time on that. How is it that a freshman senator could get something like that done? Because if you spend time in Tallahassee, if you're on the lower end of the food chain like that, you're a freshman anything, you're getting nothing done. And yet he got it done, and there was a unanimous vote in the Senate, and the governor had to accept the creation of his public university. Now the interesting thing is, then Governor Kirk vetoed 2 successive years any money, any appropriation for FIU. And so finally, in 1969, Chuck Perry was hired to be the president. And then one of the members of the then Board of Regents said to him, "Why are you going down to that Miami mess?" And it's in his memoirs. We have the documents. That Miami mess. Even then, if you will, Miami was an afterthought for the most part, in this state. And he went down. He came down with very few resources. And we were given by the legislature, in collaboration with the county, 340 acres to start this university. Now, many of you understand that out west then at that point there wasn't much. And it seemed like there never would be much. And so the 300 acres at that point might have been enough, except that by contrast, UCF, UNF, UWF, FAU, USF were created with a minimum of 1,000 acres, more or less, at the same time. That's just a little fun fact that maybe I'll come back to. So there was nothing at 107th and 8th Street except for an abandoned airfield called Tamiami Airport and a control tower that actually had been moved from MIA in 1962. And it was just relocated there. But by the time Chuck Perry arrived, there was no running water, no electricity, and no furniture in this iconic airport control tower that today, I'm proud to tell you, houses our Veterans Office. Chuck Perry pleaded with Tallahassee to get them an appropriation for some furniture, maybe even get them a state car or two. Finally, the 4 state cars arrived and the furniture arrived. And that very night, when they got back the next morning, they discovered that somebody had stolen the tires off of the 4 cars and stolen all the furniture and the equipment. So even before the university was open, the wheels had come off. So it was really an inauspicious beginning for your public university. We finally opened in 1972 on the heels of Utant, then the Secretary General of the United Nations, coming down and turning the first earth for the first building, which was logically called, because it was Miami Primera Casa. And the second building, Deuxième Maison, Chuck Perry realized that in order to build that building, by the way, many of you, if you went to FIU in that period of time, you would have taken your classes there, either in Primera Casa or Deuxième Maison, or you would have visited a faculty member there. That second building, Deuxième Maison, the state legislature appropriated $3.1 million, but the lowest bid they could get was $3.4 million. And in those days, you didn't really move unless you had the full appropriation. But Chuck Perry made the decision to move anyway. He built the building, and he was censured by the state legislature because he had the nerve to build a building that wasn't fully appropriated for. We opened with 5,800 students, and today your public university has 54,565 students who are registered this fall. So I want to share with you some comparative numbers. Right now, we currently, and I wrote this down, we currently have 2,100 students from Palmetto Bay, 639 students from City of Pinecrest, 1,500 students from Cutler Bay. And to the commissioner, we have, living in her district, which I believe encompasses these areas, 19,000 alumni, 7,500 currently enrolled students, and roughly 2,500 full-time faculty or staff. By my count, that's about 28,000 votes.
By the way, I worked it during the campaign.
Yes, thank you. And you should work it. You should work it. Because in the end, there's incredible strength in the 200,000 FIU graduates, most of whom live here in this community. But there's another interesting number that I want to share with you, which really isn't known, and that is that those currently enrolled students, ladies and gentlemen, the 7,000 and some currently enrolled students, we provide nearly $60 million to those students in financial aid. All right? $60 million. And so the university is having a consequential impact district by district. By the way, it's more or less the same numbers in each of our county commission districts. It's really unbelievable the depth and the scale of the reach of your public university. And we're unapologetic about that. We're a public institution. We're an anchor institution. This is what we do. This is what we should do. the economic development of the community is fundamentally dependent upon us having an educated workforce, increasingly a key component of competitiveness in the 21st century. And that is the role that we provide. And what Mayor FIU didn't say, that I will say very proudly, is his daughter is not just going to graduate, she's going to graduate Phi Beta Kappa. Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest and most distinguished scholarly honorary anywhere in this country. Yeah. Where is she? She was here someplace. I don't know where. Oh, there you are. Okay, so we're very proud of that. We're very proud of that, Sarah. So today, this institution has a huge impact and a growing impact. And I know if I went around the room and I asked each of you, do you know, do you work with, did you graduate? Did your son or daughter graduate? Do you know someone who graduated? Did you hire someone who graduated? Will a grandson or granddaughter graduate from FIU? Most of you would, in fact, demonstrate that you have a relationship to this institution, the institution that was nobody wanted in the 60s, and worse, we couldn't get funding. And so today it's a different story. $1.2 billion budget annually. We employ around 9,000 people, and our estimate is that over the next 20 years, our academic health center, which is in part a partnership with Baptist that we're very proud of, our academic health center will become a $1.2 billion standalone enterprise in and of itself in the next 20 years. It'll still be a little bit smaller than the U's, but that's consequential growth for our community. We estimate that we will hire at least 1,000 new high-paying jobs for that health center and for the university during that period, at least. That's really a lowball estimate. So we're very excited about what's ahead for the university. Now, we don't do it by ourselves. We have consequential support from the state legislature. We have significant and growing support from the federal government through competitive grants. This year, our grant business is $140 million. And that's really without the medical school ramping up. For every $1 million of federal money, that's 19 new high-paying jobs, folks. So this is, you know, the education, economic development, and jobs are really synonymous. So we're very, very pleased about that. Our board just approved a new strategic plan for FIU. Our new strategic plan calls for us to grow to 65,000. 65,000. We can do this. Part of it will be at the Medic campus. Part of it will be at the North Miami Beach campus. Did I say North Miami Beach, Mayor? We're having a conversation with municipalities in the northern part of the city about annexation. But our North Miami campus will grow to at least 15,000 if we do things right, including with a new Mast Academy up there that will rival anything in the rest of the state. That new Mast Academy has already started. Freshman and sophomore classes are there, about 180 students, and they've already won a national recognition for their competitiveness. So we're excited about that. But we're not going to do it alone. Partnerships are very, very important to us. Baptist, we have a great partnership with. Florida Power and Light, they have 4 call centers here in Florida. One of them is at FIU. And you know who's answering the phone? It's FIU students. And the reason they're there is because they want good jobs on campus. Florida Power and Light's a partner with ours. And Florida Power and Light, for the first cohort of our students who answered the phone, offered 38 full-time jobs to those students, which we are very, very proud of, because we understand that we have a responsibility to ensure that our students not just make a good life, but they make a good living. And so we're very, very focused on the job piece. We just opened a 135,000 square foot facility in partnership with RCL at our Biscayne Bay campus. Some of you have been on an RCL cruise, I would guess. RCL has entertainment that is second to none. All those entertainers are now being trained at FIU, all of them. They're doing 150 productions this year. Everybody's being trained on the Biscayne Bay campus in partnership with our theater program and our music program and our School of Hospitality Tourism Management. That's our definition of win-win-win. We're very proud of that partnership. We also have a partnership with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. 34% of the teachers in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools are FIU graduates. We cannot turn our backs on the public schools. That's why we have significantly ramped up dual enrollment. 6,000 students, your sons and daughters, are now able to take FIU dual enrollment courses in 38 high schools, about 135 classes. Now, why is that important? Because there's a lot of kids who can be in accelerated programs, and in this case, if a student graduates with dual enrollment classes, if they should attend a state college or a Florida university, public university, they get those credits go towards their graduation. So this year, with the 6,000 students, we're saving them roughly $4 million in college tuition costs. And we're very, very, very proud of that. So that we have a great partnership with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We have a great partnership with the University of Credit Union for now, 3 decades. So my point is that we believe deeply in partnerships, in win-win relationships. We can't go to the next level unless we can find ways to work directly in our community. Many of you, all of you I hope, voted in November, and most of you, 65% of you, voted in favor of FIU expanding. FIU has asked the county to consider allowing us to take 64 acres of the land that's currently occupied by the fair. As many of you know, you've gone to the fair. The fair is a very important institution in our community, and we respect that. But our issue is we are running out of land, and we need more land to expand, particularly our academic health center. And given the pressure on us to be more and more efficient, we'd like to do it in one spot. And so therefore we appreciate the support that you've given. And now basically the ball is in the court of the mayor and the commission to find an alternative location for the fair at no cost to county taxpayers. We believe we can raise the money to move the fair. We've already got a $10 million commitment from the state legislature. And this legislature is indicated that they will find a way to support us again. So we need your help to maintain that momentum. And if we do, we project $900 million of construction on that 64 acres. We project significant job creation. And most importantly, we'll be able to keep our doors open to the sons and daughters of this community who may not want to go away to school and who may not be able to get into the U or don't want to go to the U, but don't want to necessarily leave. And we need to be there for them, and we need to be there for you. So I'm very excited about the next 50. The last 50, I think we've exceeded expectations in terms of where we came from, but we can't exceed expectations in this next round unless we have significant consequential community support. And that's one of the reasons I'm out to thank you and to ask for you to continue to think about this university and to understand that the better we get, we'd like to think the better our community gets, and clearly the better our community gets, we know the better we're going to get. So thank you all very much. Go Panthers.